Which Bucks player have the better chance to win each NBA award this season? Hi, welcome to All About the Bucks, where today I'm going to be talking about the NBA awards. With the regular season just almost starting, I thought it would be fun to go through the different individual awards and discuss which Bucks player have a better shot to be on the race to win them, and then discuss if it is a realistic goal for them or if they are just like the better suited player on the roster but they don't have a real chance to be on the fight for the award. Obviously, we won't be talking about the Rookie of the Year because the Bucks won't have any rookie on the roster, but that said, let's go with it. First is the MVP, and I think it's pretty clear that Giannis is the only player on the roster that could make a run for it. But let's talk about how good of a chance do we think he has. Giannis is in a weird spot because it feels like after 2020, he's always been on the race for the top 3 but never for winning the real award. And I think that's because he's been taken for granted around the league. But that might change this season. For the first time in a while, I feel people don't really expect the Bucks to be that good, so if he can carry the team to a solid season, being like top 4, top 3 in the East, he's going to have a strong case and he might switch the narrative on his favor. We know the numbers are going to be there, and they're probably going to be better than ever this season, like maybe not in terms of efficiency, but in sheer numbers. The Bucks are going to play through Giannis more than ever, he's going to be more of a leader than ever, and so he might not only have his best numbers ever, he might also feel like more responsible of the good things happening than ever. He won't have a second star next to him, like Myles Turner isn't really that kind of player, and so if he can lead the Bucks to a good season, I think a lot of people will start having the same conversation they had with Jokic in 2021-2022, right? Where it was like, yeah, maybe they weren't that good, but they were much better than they should because of this guy. And this season I think this guy could be Giannis. Next, let's talk about Defensive Player of the Year. And you'd think Giannis is also the one with a better case. And that's kind of true, but for fun, let's mix it up a bit and let's make a case for Myles Turner. Turner is a good defensive player, but I don't think he excels. Like, I think his block shooting numbers might trick people into thinking he's better than he is, but he is good. And most importantly, I think he's a great upgrade from Brook Lopez. Like, people who weren't really watching the Bucks all that much last season might not realize how big of a liability Brook was last season. And so I think there's a big room for improvement. And if that improvement comes through and the Bucks became an elite defense, which I don't think they will, but if they do, a lot of people are going to think like Myles Turner was the piece that get them there. It's going to be tough because even though I think the Bucks are going to be better defensively than they were last season because they are more athletic, they are more versatile, I don't think they are going to excel so much that they can have one player on the conversation for an award that's basically Victor Wembanyama's already. But if they really are that good, Myles is going to have the narrative on his favor because it would be something like, oh wow, they changed centers and look how better they are right now. And so let's say Myles is the Bucks player with a better case for this award, but if we're being honest, I don't think he will. I don't think any player but Wembanyama can win this award this season, unless again Wemby gets injured like last season. But I don't know, it feels pretty tough. It's also pretty tough to pick one Bucks player to win the most improved player of the season. Not because there aren't any candidates, but because there are two. And they have like weird cases that are very different. First is of course AJ Green, who is likely to have his best season yet this year. He's going to be starting, he's going to be playing more than ever, he's going to be shooting more than ever probably, and he's going to be hitting more threes than ever. And so his numbers are gonna go up if he keeps his efficiency up, which I don't see why he wouldn't. But I don't really see how his numbers could grow all that much to be on this conversation, right? Like, it would be such a great season if he gets to 12 points a game. Like, that's more than people think for a player like him. And so I don't think he can grow that much. Also, his game is not gonna change. Like, we've seen glimpses of some better passing this preseason, but it's just that, some flashes. Like, he's going to be just a shooter on offense. And so, without a drastic change, I don't see how his numbers could put him in the race. Funny enough, his stronger case could be his defense, because I feel like for most people, non-Bucks fans, his defense is still under the radar. Like, most people haven't really realized how good he is at that. And so, if people start noticing and he keeps improving, he could have a case for people who say, oh wow, this dude really become one of the best 3-and-D in the league. But I don't see that leap taking him to a strong case for the award. Ryan Rollins, on the other hand, has a bigger leap in him, I feel. Like, he has more room to grow, and that's why I'm picking him as the Bucks' best candidate for the MIP. He already improved a lot last season. Like, he started on offense as this catch-and-shoot three-point shooter, but as the season went on, he proved to be someone that could handle the ball, could attack the rim, could somewhat create his own shot, and if he keeps improving this season, he might have a pretty nice jump. Also, for what I've seen this preseason, he has embraced this role of energy guy who kind of flips the energy of the game every time he comes from the bench. So I think people are going to notice his impact on the game way more, and with that at the grow in his stats, he might have a better case than AJ, in my opinion. That said, I don't think it's going to be a good case. Like, the MIP usually goes for players that become all-stars or borderline all-stars, and even when that doesn't happen, like last season when Dyson Daniels won it, like, it went to a player that's still some tiers above Rollins, you know? And so I think Rollins has a strong case to be the most improved player on the Bucks, but I don't think that would make for him to be running for the award. Now, for Sixth Man of the Year, the requirements are pretty straightforward. You have to come from the bench, and you have to score a lot. Like, this award, more times than not, I think, goes to the player who scores more points coming from the bench. And so we have to wonder which player on the Bucks could fit that niche. And I think most people would say Bobby Portis, because he has fit this role in the latest seasons. However, this could be the season that he plays a lesser role, because I feel like the Bucks want to play faster, they want to play more athletic, they want to shoot more threes, and I don't feel Bobby is going to be really all that helpful with that, so he might not be as important as he's used to. And so I'm picking Cole Anthony as my Bucks Sixth Man of the Year candidate, because I feel he's going to be very important in the second unit. He's going to be scoring a lot, shooting a lot, handling the ball a lot, and he might fit this role of helping the Bucks playing faster, playing in transition, better than Bobby could. He can be super streaky on offense, so he will probably have some stinkers, but he will probably have some games where he shoots the lights out too. He goes for 20 or so points. He might even stay on the court on clutch when he's hot. So I think he will contributing a lot. He will have good numbers. And with this award, you never really know. Like, lineups aren't always settled, so you don't really know who's going to be running for this award until we have already played a good chunk of the season. Who knows? This is one of the toughest awards to predict. I don't really think Cole is a favorite for it, but I think he might get into the run. And lastly, we have the award that most people forget about, the one nobody talks about because I don't know why it exists, Clutch Player of the Year. This award is pretty straightforward too, like, you have to score a ton in the clutch. But that's easier said than done, because funny enough, if you're a pretty good team, you might not have a chance to be running for this award. Like OKC last season, they just were blowing up teams. So they barely had clutch games, and so Shai, even though he's one of the best clutch players in the league in my opinion, didn't have a case for this award. That said, I think the Bucks are in a pretty good spot for this award, because I think they are going to be a good team, but they are not going to be blowing teams up. So they are going to have a decent amount of close games, and if they have a player that can excel in clutch situations, he might have a case. But the question is, who? And once again, your gut is probably going for Giannis, But I don't think we are going to see a lot of Giannis on clutch situations because, as it has happened in the past, the opposing teams are going to just pack the paint, build a wall, and say, we want whoever to beat us but Giannis. The way teams guard Giannis has changed over the seasons. Like we saw last season, teams like the Orlando Magic or the Cleveland Cavaliers saying basically, okay, we're guarding Giannis one-on-one, we don't mind him going for 40 plus, as long as we don't allow everyone else to get hot. But if there's a moment in the game where that's not going to happen, when teams are not going to live with Giannis on one-on-one, it's going to be clutch time, right? They are not going to allow him to get to the ring. They try to force the ball out of his hands. And so, who could be making those shots? Gary Trent Jr. is a player who is probably going to have some shots in the clutch. He already has last season. He hit a big one in Sacramento, another one in Indiana in December. Like, he's not afraid of the moment. He's going to shoot an open three if he has it. He's not going to pass the ball. And so he could have a good case, but I'm going to pick Kevin Porter Jr. just because I think he's going to be handling the ball much more, and so he's going to be able to look for his own shot. He can be unreliable, he can get too aggressive while looking for his shots, but he's the kind of player that when he gets hot, he gets hot. And so I think he's going to have some clutch performance through the season, he's going to win the team some games, and why not, maybe he sneaks into the conversation. And that's all. What do you think? Is any of these players going to be able to be on the race for any of these awards? Do you think is some player I did not mention that could fight for any of them? Let me know in the comments, give a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe if you don't want to miss more Bucks content. Thanks for watching.